Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome to another Yami Noob video. If you saw the last time Josh tried one of his favorite bikes, the Hayabusa, a 10 out of 10 motorcycle, your words, not mine. I wouldn't call it a 10 out of 10, but you did, because you're a Suzuki simp. Today, he's piloting his first Ducati, and what a better Ducati to do than this one, the Panigale V2, baby, 160 horsepower V2 perfection. Look at it, Josh.
God, it's gorgeous.
It's so good looking. Every time I pull this bike out, I'm just like, man, I got to ride this thing more before I give it away. Which, if you guys don't know, giving this motorcycle away, along with that Kawasaki Z650, hit the link down below. Go to yaminoob.co and find out how you can get entered to win. Josh, I know this isn't an SV650, but try to imagine, what it's going to feel like to ride this thing. What do you think? You've never ridden a Ducati before. What do you know about them?
Ultra premium.
Yeah.
Smooth, butter, glossy.
Well, the new ones are the old ones were not butter smooth.
Yes. I'd
say in the last 5 to 7 years, Ducati started to get that butter smooth quality. Before they were all clunky and character and all that stuff,
Yeah. So, I mean, other than not being able to find neutral on it, I expect it to be comfortable, smooth, intuitive to ride.
Yeah.
I don't know about, its attitude or anger. I don't really have a good sense of what that's going to be like on it. If it's more docile and refined, or if it really does have the bark that you kind of hear. But man, I'm very excited to ride it.
So thinking back to bikes you've ridden, you've tried the Hayabusa, you've tried the Daytona 765, the MV. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the fastest motorcycle you've ridden, because this has about 160 horsepower. It weighs about 440 pounds. So it has 15 less horsepower than the Hayabusa, but it weighs about 110 pounds less. So this thing really rips. It's a lot of fun to ride. It also has probably the most advanced electronics package of any bike you've ridden, from what I understand, right? Like, this has slide control, wheel control, traction control, full TFT display, like all the goodies and farkles that you would want. All the stuff derived from the big bad V4S superbike, right?
Yeah.
So without further ado, please swing a leg over it and tell me
how
without
it feels. Hesitation. Oh, man. Yeah, the seat is nice. It's not just a plank.
Yeah, this bike, they've done a really good job at making it comfy for all-day riding. It's awesome. It's a lot different than something like an R1 or even a GSX-R 1000, because I know that's your reference point, Josh.
Yeah. That's that's the 11 of 10, the only bike.
Yeah. So it's got a tall seat height, but I can tell you can get both feet down, right?
Yeah, I can put both feet down. Platforms on my feet. No, not two heels.
Yeah.
Got to lean to get a heel down. But perfectly fine for riding on the street. I don't have any issue with my size for this bike. It's kind of narrow, which is cool. Like, it's a very narrow, and it matches the width up front as it does at the tank. It's just really
down to that
aesthetic.
V-twin. It's just nice and compact. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not big and muscly like some of these bikes are.
See how snappy the throttle is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and there's these low vibrations, really meaty kind of V-twin, exactly what you'd expect from it. Cool. Wow. It revs really high, really fast.
No, you be careful. It's really fast.
Okay. All right.
So are you ready to head off? You ready to try this thing out?
I'm super ready. Are we set with modes and...
Yeah, so you are in sport mode. You've got traction control turned on, ABS, wheel control is on, so this bike's not going to step out away from you. I wouldn't recommend whacking the throttle anywhere. Be judicious with it. So let's start you off in street, and then we can try sport mode later on.
Right away though. This is such a minimal cockpit, even though you have the really nice TFT display. There's not a lot here. Okay, definitely a little bit aggressive ergonomics. Yeah, not crazy, but yes, it is. It is all of a super sport.
Yep. Yeah, so that bike to me is it's aggressive. It's a sport bike, but it's not ridiculous. It's not a full-on race machine. It's actually really good for the street, in my opinion, if you want the sport bike thing. Yeah, it gives you that command over the bars, really being on top of them and getting that nice bend in your elbow. But it doesn't exactly feel like you're on all fours crawling on top of the front wheel, maybe like the Daytona does. So how you feeling on it? So good. The power is so smooth and linear. So it's got plenty of bark down low in RPMs, but even when you're going faster, it's just perfectly linear. So how does the engine feel to you, Josh?
It's so good. It feels so good. You're gonna hate me. It kind of reminds me of my SB. just the way that it is very linear. It really likes to be revved out, but it's also that V-twin grunt. Well, it's a street bike though. It's street biased. So what's your favorite? I mean, when you're riding this on the street, what's your favorite thing about it? Like, what excites you?
I would say my favorite thing is just how, you know, those bars are just so wide set and commanding. The seat is really comfortable too. You know, for a long distance ride, it really is a really comfortable seat, and it works super well. Also, like, that engine is just delicious. It is delicious. It's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so linear, the power, and it starts so low, which is really, from what I've learned so far, unique on these sport bikes.
It's a big reason why people choose a bike like that over an R6 or you know, something else, because it's just got the sexy looks and that low end grunt, you know.
Woo! Whoa! Way faster.
How do you feel about the power?
I love it, man. This is such a cool place for sport bikes.
Yeah.
Having the grunt and having crazy power, but it does not feel like the Super Duke. It doesn't remind me of that.
No. It's butter smooth, and it's like the way it builds power is much more similar to a traditional sport bike. You know, it really revs up high, and you want to wring it out. It doesn't have this stupid low end grunt of like a 1290 or something, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. I'm feeling some nice heat on my bum though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice warm cheeks.
Welcome to Ducati character.
Yeah.
You get a free pizza oven with every bike you purchase.
Perfect.
And it's right underneath your seat.
Yeah, absolutely. That is interesting, and would definitely suck if it was 100 degrees out here. Today it's welcome. Like, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the Ducati is how flattering it is to ride, you know?
Yeah.
Like, when you start picking up the pace a little bit, it makes you really feel like a superhero, you know?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It's like a missile. Like, it's so guided. You think where you want to come around that corner. Like, just now I was pulling up behind you. I knew I needed to be inside of you, but close to the line. And I just thought about it, and it went there. It's really easy.
Yeah, you can just
controlled.
make adjustments really, really quick on it. And it's just such a really nice bike. Let's do this really quick since we're kind of close to the highway here. I definitely want you to feel the power a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go down this way towards the highway and have you just pull through the gears a little bit, because it is just so satisfying clicking up to that quick shifter.
Oh my goodness.
Really gets up and goes, huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, especially on sport mode. Man, it's like it gets so excited when it gets that input.
Yeah, it just rips. How'd that feel?
Oh, I think you know how it felt. Man, this thing is so fast.
Man, I mean, it's just such a pretty bike, you know? Like, it's just so hard to not enjoy looking at it. And I think that's part of the ownership of these kinds of motorcycles, you know? Like, yeah, the performance is blistering, but it's not a competition machine. It's not a race machine. But, boy, as like just a pretty thing to have and own, it's kind of hard to beat.
But also, if you are riding it on the street, I mean, it's so dominant on the street.
Yeah.
It's as fast as, I mean, you'd smoke anything
You'd smoke
you
anything
wanted
and everything,
on this.
yeah. Like, literally, unless you're talking like, you know, hypercars or super bikes, that's king of the road.
It's crazy to me that this is the smaller Ducati.
Yeah, that's not the V4, dude. The V4 is an animal.
Jeez, I mean, I just can't imagine. Even in that last pull I did, I can't imagine a bike that's significantly faster than this.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was telling you. When we test rode that against the R1, that felt like a docile, normal bike, whereas the R1 just feels like a monster. Gotta catch up to you.
Yeah, I know. Where'd you go? Man. And every gear feels about the same. I imagine like it'll slow down, you know, once you're topping out and, you know, getting to top of fourth or top of fifth, maybe top of sixth, but like,
yeah, no, you just grab gears. It just keeps going. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, that's how it felt. I mean, I probably grabbed at least through 3 gears, and it was just
it's
every
just
single
relentless,
one,
yeah.
blah, 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 every time. Golly.
So, Josh, is it time to sell your SV650 and get that?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I'm a big fan of Ducatis, man. I really, really enjoy them.
Understandably so.
If I didn't already have my race bike and I just wanted like a one single sport bike, the V2 makes a very strong case. It's an awesome
Absolutely.
bike.
Totally understandable. Yeah, I mean, if you can afford to do the maintenance on these bikes, man, it's like they're really as awesome as people say they are.
Does this feel special riding it? Do you feel like it's like a premium, like kind of really special looking bike, you know?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it doesn't feel like the limited editions where you know that they're like so rare and everything, but everything on the bike works so well and feels so good. Nothing shakes, nothing moves. Like on that last pull, my helmet started rattling before the bike started rattling. Yeah, everything on it feels so good. It makes me interested to ride a super sport that doesn't have this, maybe a 636 or something like that. That's, you know, a more of a budget super sport, and feel the real difference of, you know, something like this.
Yeah, the thing about the kind of, you say budget super sports, let's just say like, the thing I think you think about is like they're more competition ready, and the aftermarket support for something like an R6 or a ZX6 is really designed to compete at the racetrack and win at the racetrack, whereas that's not designed to do that at all, really.
Okay.
It's more about the emotion of riding and the feeling of riding and all that Ducati lifestyle stuff that they sell you. But, you know, the fundamentals on something like an R6 or a ZX6 are ridiculously good. Like the front end feel, the way it picks up out of a corner, like what you want at a racetrack, those bikes provide in spades. But something like the Ducati, you know, it's much more about just the feeling it gives you. It's not about lap times, you know. So that's the difference for me. But the components don't feel nearly as nice.
That's cool. I mean, that's a strength for the Ducati in my book, especially since I've never even been to a track.
Yeah.
And I imagine if you just want to go ride the track a couple times a year, this bike is probably not going to disappoint you.
No, yeah, if you're not like an expert level rider or a club racer or anything like that, you'll be perfectly happy with that. You're not going to miss anything. But thinking back to it, you know, you rode the MV Agusta, and that's a much more like competition style machine, and it feels like a competition bike. You notice the difference from that versus the Ducati, right?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. I mean, this one still has a lot of attitude and grunt and personality like the Triple did. I don't know. That one felt so lightweight. This one doesn't feel quite as light. I don't know what the difference is in the...
It's about 30 to 40 pounds difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then those are the benefits to all the special parts and the carbon fiber and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like what you just said there, because I agree with it. Like that, the Ducati surprisingly is a fun bike to ride. Like I like riding it on the street, and it's playful and it's fun. It doesn't feel like a serious race machine. It feels like a super fun sport bike, which it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing's awesome, man. I really like that bike. I'm gonna miss it a lot when we give it away.
But you know, these are two different veins of motorcycle riding, even though they're and I'm comparing this now to the R1, the last expert bike we gave away.
Yeah.
You know, they're both red and they're both expensive and fast, but they're so different in their purposes and the way they ride. And I mean, we all heard Spike complain about the ergonomics of the R1 to no end because it's so competition ready.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas that thing, you could spend all day in the saddle, really. I don't think it'd be even that hard to do it.
I think so, yeah.
So, Josh, you are now baptized by Ducati, and the kickstand's a little hard. It's right there.
Now once I get this thing down.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. It's a weird little kickstand.
Yeah, this thing is everything that you look at it and kind of hope it is. It is. It's so gorgeous, and it's almost like how pretty it was is like an extra that they're giving you because of how well that it rides.
Yeah, I agree. If it was ugly and it rode the way it did, I'd be like, man, this is a sweet bike. But it looks like this and it rides like that. You're like, dude, this thing's rad.
Absolutely. It's like, what could possibly beat this? And I really like the engine and the power. Like, I don't want more. Like, like I'm sure the V4 is really cool and everything, but like this is so adequate. I mean, it pulls hard.
Yeah.
It is not slow. It's very fast.
That's what I think is so funny. People look at the V2 and like, oh, that's the slow Panigale. It's the little Panigale. It's like, no, it's just the normal Panigale, and the V4 is like a stupid Panigale. You know, like
Exactly.
To me, this is really cool because Ducati has always excelled at making the V-twin twin-cylinder bikes. Like this is more of a Ducati in my mind than the V4, really, And I've ridden the V4, and it's a handful, hairy kind of bike, and it's hard to ride, whereas this is easy and nice, And
I believe it, yeah.
you often have more fun riding a bike that is nicer and easier to ride than you do one that is hard and difficult and annoying to ride. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I think there's a reason why people who do have the checkbooks for these bikes do and buy them, because they're really nice. It's, you work hard, you want nice things in life, get a fucking Panigale.
Absolutely. And it's worth it. It's not just all hype. Like, man, it really is that cool. You're not going to make a Ducatista out of me, but, I'll go jump on my Suzuki.
I don't know. I think I will. I think I will make a Ducatista out of you yet. I remember when Spite rode this, he was just like, oh, man, if I had ridden this instead of my VFR, I might have gotten a Ducati. I think they're cool, man. I think there's a lot to say about the Ducati.
Yeah, there absolutely is. I mean, every little piece about riding it just on this little fun route was so awesome. It didn't disappoint ever.
It's a shame you now work for me and you're not eligible to win the bikes anymore. But
I know.
Imagine if I was just like, hey, I'm sending you a Ducati. It's yours for free. Enjoy.
I was on the phone with my dad. He was like, can I enter? I was like, no, you can't.
Well, he can, but he'll be invalidated.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. This was a great one for you guys to do, because this bike is so cool.
But guys, hope you enjoyed this video today. Remember, if you want to win this motorcycle, YamiNoob.co, that's the way to do it. I'm giving away for free this bike over here too, and along with a bunch of others. Go and check it out, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.
Between this and my desert sled, you might think I'm just some horrible biscotti boy, but really, if you click this video right over here, I will prove to you that I love more motorcycles than just Ducati biscottis. Click it and find out.